Republicans who have blinders on, who focus solely on the plight of illegal aliens, and there has to be sympathy towards them given their situations in their home countries, and I understand that. But what I have to do is persuade those Republicans to take those blinders off and to look at the big picture. And the big picture includes the effect on lawful immigrants, as you noted, and on American citizens.
Congressman Mo Brooks on this program just a few minutes ago. Of course, he's leading the charge against language in the National Defense Authorization Act that would essentially open the door to illegals enlisting in our military. It's language that all the Democrats on the Armed Forces Committee fought to keep, and a handful of Republicans joined them. You can see an article from thehill.com. Joining us right now, Dick Morris, political analyst, author of the book Power Grab. Yes, Power Grab. Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. You see, Dick, I wanted to pause to get everybody on the edge of their chair to remember that title, Power Grab. And now, what is going on in terms of public policy in a power grab? Mo Brooks bemoans a handful of pro-amnesty Republicans working in concert with United Democrats. What do you think is going to happen?
It is ridiculous to change the current law. At the moment, any person who is here legally, even if they're not a citizen, is able to join the armed forces. And if a legal immigrant with a green card enlists and serves to an honorary discharge, he can then get a short path to citizenship. That's fine. But for an illegal immigrant to be permitted to join the military, much less given citizenship as a reward, means you essentially have an army filled with criminals. People who essentially got into the army by committing a crime. The old days when judges would sentence you to serve in Vietnam, in effect. I also believe we have to put this in context, for God's sakes. I don't recall the exact number, but we are laying off about 70,000 soldiers from the Army over the course of two fiscal years. So it's not like we have a manpower shortage that we have to do this. This bill is not what it appears to be, to provide a path to citizenship. This bill is part of a strong effort going on to erase the boundary between legal and illegal, to fudge it when you let illegals get driver's license, when you let them become lawyers, when you do all kinds of stuff like that. It's to eliminate that line of separation. And the big game is to let them vote. And I think you're going to see liberals pushing that in California and elsewhere in local elections, and then they'll want it nationally.
Well, more than just liberals, as we take a look at the likely Republican field, there is Jeb Bush constantly saying, I have a different point of view on immigration, and he doesn't use the word amnesty, but for all intents and purposes, that's what it is. Can he prevail in the current field of candidates?
I think it'll hurt him badly in the Republican primary. I think that what we have to understand about immigration is that it is the income inequality issue. Hillary gave a speech the other day saying immigration creates jobs. The fact is, Center for Immigration Studies did an analysis from census data of all the jobs created in America since 2000. There was a 5.7% increase in the number of immigrants holding jobs, legal, illegal, or even naturalized, and no increase in the number of native-born Americans holding jobs. Every single net new job created went to an immigrant.
Your latest column that you have penned for The Hill, people can find soon at thehill.com, pointed out problems for someone who seems to have changed positions on the border. That is Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. I'm hearing talk right now that sounds pretty good. Sounds like he sat down with Jeff Sessions, but you say Governor Walker could have some big problems. What would those be?
Yeah, the big problem that Walker has is that there's nothing that makes him relevant to the current debate. You're digging that up out of the files of what he just said and comparing it and all that because you're a journalist and that's okay. But what you want to be to win a primary like this, when there are no debates, no artificial opportunities to project yourself, is to be on the scene when something's happening. And that's why Cruz and Rubio, who are going to be right smack center, and Paul, over the debate over the NSA, wiretapping, and the debate over Obamacare, if the court rules in our favor, have a big advantage because they can make news. Walker at the moment can only make noise.
But what about that argument we hear that A governor is a chief executive. You need a chief executive to be president. 40 seconds, Dick.
I'll bet you a chief executive would make a good president, but a senator makes a better candidate because they're used to handling themselves, dealing with all issues, dealing with the back and forth. A governor sets his own agenda, so it's a cinch. A senator gets hit with all kinds of stuff he doesn't plan on, like Ted Cruz being Cuban the other day.
Oh, yes, that was kind of interesting to watch. And Dick, it's always interesting to have you here on Newsmax Prime. Listen, you ought to be sure to get your copy of that best-selling book, co-authored by Dick Morris. He and his lovely bride wrote it together. Here's how you can get the book Power Grab. Visit the website, powergrab411.com. And as always, we thank our good friend Dick Morris for his insights and analysis. And there is more straight ahead as Newsmax Prime continues here on Newsmax TV. Don't go away.